Throughout my career, I've always sought out mentors who would challenge me and were very thoughtful in situations. And from those experiences, one of the things that was an aha moment was going to one of the senior people working on a deal that I was on, and I said, I don't think we can solve this problem. And the person I was talking to said, here's 5 or 10 different ways to solve the problem, and just rattled off a bunch of ideas, ones that he wasn't tied to, ones that may not necessarily work, but ones that when you started thinking about different ways to solve the problem and not being bound up with any constraints, made me realize that our job as lawyers is to really come at a problem from a number of different angles. And so whenever I'm struggling for a solution, I hearken back to that experience, and I put down the guardrails and just kind of reel off a bunch of potential solutions without thinking about what the constraints may be, and that helps me solve problems. My family is incredibly important to me. I've got a wife and 3 children. My children are 14, 12, and 9 years old. And the interesting dynamics between the way each of them interact with each other and with their friends and with us as family is just a great way to spend time and a lot of fun. I, in some ways, think that you can apply the lessons of a restructuring with, in some ways, there's some real achievements, and in some ways, there's some real challenges, but always coming up with ways to make sure the dynamic is positive is really fun. I like parachuting into situations and having someone talk about a case and a company that I don't know anything about, and I've, at this point in my career, worked in almost every industry, but even within industries, there's always nuances with particular companies or a small part of an industry that I don't know about, and it's really like figuring out what the puzzle is, and sometimes you don't even know what the picture's supposed to look like until you've talked to a number of people, but I get a lot of adrenaline from those first couple of hours, sometimes couple of days or a couple of months, depending on the type of situation. And I really like to challenge myself and be presented with that issue of having to figure out, what are the nuances that make that company tick or those people tick, and how is the best way to address that.